Celtic Park and the showdown they won't forget.
Penalty to Celtic. So, Joe Miller against Chris Woods. Only saved it, and it's passed. And that is a gigantic stride towards the championship title itself.
April Fool's Day it may have been, but that penalty save by Chris Woods was authentic enough. And in a city sharply divided in loyalties, as Glasgow always will be, I think it was a single moment of the season which united Rangers and Celtic supporters in the belief that the championship was heading back towards Ibrox Park, and that the balance of power in Scottish football and the perpetual seesaw between these two giants was tilting towards Govan again. But you know, when you look at Rangers' huge drawing power, you realize that their confidence is based on the loyalty of supporters who certainly endorse their policy of big spending.
So going into the market and acquiring Gary Stevens for £1 million and another Englishman, Kevin Drinkle, for £500,000 was the kind of rich intake that led instantly to robust health and early optimism. To Rangers, lavish spending is as vital as including fibre for a balanced diet.
As Wilkins, gentlest of touches, Ferguson just kicks it in. That's to Cooper, that's great goal! Oh, beautifully watched. But that really started with this excellent move by Ian Ferguson, who's been very quiet. Now watch this, the dummy and the finish that went, from that angle right through the goalkeeper. Butcher. And the ball, I think, yes, has been given. The Motherwell players are incensed by that, and we might begin to understand why they're so incensed. A lovely jump there by Butcher, and the Motherwell defender stood stock still as Ian Durrant put Rangers 2 up.
Well, first to that one. Walters, Durrant through the middle, chance for Rangers, penalty. Now this was Durrant going through, Berry came right across, bundled him off, and really the referee pointed to the spot correctly. Ian Durrant is going to take this one himself. In off the post. Now Walters for Rangers, turning, twisting, put in by Nisbet.
In purely monetary terms, I suppose Andy Gray at £25,000 is worth about Terry Butcher's kneecap. The old warhorse, though, added wit and wisdom to the pool. But, as a Rangers supporter from his youth, he hardly sat and watched his first few games in comfort.
Great run here by Ian Cameron, the wide midfielder, setting up Billy Davis. Great strike, St Mirren in the lead after 13 minutes. St Mirren defence holding for the moment, but Rangers continuing to play the ball in from all angles. Graham Souness, the player manager, with a shot. Just wide of the target. Rangers still down by 1. A corner from Davy Cooper, placed in. Butcher with a header. Handball, said the referee. This time, Davy Cooper against Campbell Money, and the kick is good. Rangers have tied it. Mark Walters again at the helm, wide on the left. Really has had a marvellous week. Walters cross, Richard Goff up looking for the ball. Here's Davy Cooper chesting it down. The flick on to Mark Walters. That's 2-1. Butcher intercepts. Davy Cooper. He's beaten the offside trap. Ian Ferguson. And that breaks the tie with 6 minutes left to go. It was Davy Cooper who set it up, sending the cross deep. The Dundee United defence caught out, and Ian Ferguson with a header, beating Billy Thompson. Rangers are in the lead. kick to Rangers, taken by Mark Walters. Dundee trying to clear the lines, but Kevin Drinkle with the header. Drinkle making his comeback in this game after injury, and Rangers are in the lead. Here's Mark Walters again wide to the left. Cutting inside Billy Kirkwood, a chip by Walters. 2-0.
Sometimes Rangers of old have been such bad starters to the league, you would think nobody had told them it had begun at all. But that sight confirmed they had wakened up a bit earlier this time. And to their hardly impoverished pool, they added Neil Cooper, who on his debut returned like the prodigal to his home ground, but with no thoughts of exchanging endearments.
Looks in at the near post. So is Brown. Goff beaten there by Robertson. Cooper! What a goal! Six minutes from half-time. Neil Cooper on his debut for the Light Blues scores the opening goal. Cleach to take the free kick. Goff and Dawes. Way by Stevens, Aberdeen keeping the pressure on. Hewitt. Penalty! Ian Ferguson could do little about that one as John Hewitt's twisting and turning. You see it quite clearly. Inside the box, that's a penalty. Up comes Bet. Aberdeen are level. Aberdeen come again. Bet. Useful ball. Wood stays. Nicholas scores.
The loss of 2 points in championship terms was bearable. The loss of Ian Durrant in human terms incalculable. If they felt they had suffered more than their fair share of misfortune, fate was to pull another trick that amused nobody at Ibrox, especially Ali McCoist.
Long ball intended for Kevin Drinkle, who's onside. Drinkle's cross. Ali McCoist was waiting in the middle, seemed to pull up, and McCoist will require treatment. Richard Goff, the central defender. And Wilkins intercepted by Billy Davis. And Davis with a pass to Mark McWalter. 1-0 St Mirren. On the hour mark, Mark McWalter has broken through. Gary Stevens. Time running out for Rangers. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Wilkins with a cross. John Brown battling for it. Now Walters. Andy Gray has made the run. Andy Gray has tied it up.
A late equaliser always seems the worst of injustices, but on the other hand, Rangers' instinct to hang on was clear to see.
Of all the glittering prizes in Scottish football, the one that takes precedence over everything else is the League Championship trophy. But of course, it does help if a club is winning other things as they go along, which Rangers did in the month of October when they won the Skoll League Cup. But they were to go through, at the same time, a turbulent period. They'd already lost Ian Durrant. They were to lose Ali McCoist and Chris Woods, key figures in their side. But then suddenly, out of the blue, came a transformation off the field, which was to shake Scottish football to its foundations.
The club was sold. Lawrence Marlborough, the man from Lake Tahoe, severed the long family links with Rangers, and the club was now in the hands of new director Graham Souness and the new owner, one of the most dynamic young entrepreneurs in Britain, David Murray.
The opportunity arose that after meeting Graham, we came up with an idea of approaching Lawrence Marlborough, and fortunately he was prepared to sell us the club.
Under the guidance of David Holmes, the club had exorcised some of the ghosts of the past and faced up to the commercial realities of a new age. But Murray was faced by the stark factors of supply and demand. Ibrox was simply too small, and he certainly got to know that, especially as he watched from the director's box Rangers youngsters whetting the appetite for more and more.
Wilkins to McCall, and he's done it! A beautiful goal by McCall. And with 22 minutes gone, to the delight of this huge crowd at Ibrox. A superb goal by this young man. Very neat play again by Wilkins, and watch the coolness, almost iciness of the way he finished it off.
The queue to get into Rangers' first team shows how strong the pool is. John Brown fits in anywhere. Nicky Walker was good enough to hold the fort in time of need. Ian Ferguson ignites rather than just plays football. And his namesake Derek has an injury record which makes him the most fragile in the side, but for all that, his smooth technique is the blender of the assorted styles around him.
Here's Ferguson. Going on the inside and trying the shot. It's a goal! Alan Ruff is stunned, but Derek Ferguson has made the breakthrough. And that could be a vital goal for Rangers.
After 21 games, Rangers were beginning to consolidate themselves at the top. Now, with due respect to the others, Souness was looking over his shoulder at one team in particular. They came to Ibrox on the 3rd of January.
Can't get it away. Feels for a free kick, and it is. And that was a very bad piece of play by Ray Wilkins. An astonishingly slack pass which brought this foul about, because McAvenny is very dangerous in that position. Seemed to me he threw himself a bit. There's only a minute gone. Celtic to take this. It's just there, yes. Morris, 1-0. Here's Ferguson. Just gets with it. Now Walters. Now that is a free kick. Free kick to Rangers. Wilkins will take this. There's Butcher with it. It's in! Butcher, the equaliser. Terry Butcher, rising above the ball. All he needed was the slightest glance, and it soared away from Bonner. Butcher, superb in the air. Here's Walters, and Rangers get the free kick. Brown on towards Ferguson. Here's Drinkle. Feels for a penalty, it's given. For the second game in a row, Rogan has given away a penalty. It happened on Saturday, and there was a challenge. Well, Mark Walters, in an atmosphere that would terrify even the toughest personality, has to take this penalty kick. It's there. Rangers are in the lead, 2-1. Mark Walters puts them there. And he did that with the greatest of ease, very near the goalkeeper, but it went in. Ferguson with the shot, is there. There was a deflection, I think. In came Ferguson, and that shot whistled in, and I think there was a deflection. But Rangers are now 3-1 in the lead, and we've played 1 minute of stoppage time. Straight to McCall. Drinkle. That's a beautiful ball. Here's Walters through. Walters with a great chance, and he done it! Number 4 for Rangers in a breakaway. Beautifully taken goal. The classic sucker punch. Rangers have been in the ropes for the last 10 minutes, and Walters gets them away from it. And that is the game well and truly won.
Now, on such a day, it's easy for the victorious supporters of an old firm team to succumb to the temptation of thinking that everything is downhill from then on. This euphoria was accentuated when Ali McCoist, who had tried every known treatment for that injury, finally got his hamstring to cooperate again. His colleagues softened up the opposition first.
Chip towards Derek Ferguson. He brought it down well, and Geddes, Ian Ferguson. The two Fergusons combining. And the free kick into the wall. There's Saunders, and right, he's done it. Dundee a level. Walters' corner. And again, Geddes off his line. There's Ian Ferguson. And Butcher might get it in. He's done it. Well, it was messy, but they all count. The punt by Stevens. And Ian Ferguson racing down the right. Has Drinkle in the middle. Also Ali McCoist, he scored. And the Ali shuffle. 3-1.
Ferguson, Walters, Stevens to Ferguson. That's a better ball to Monroe. Does Burry he scored? Oh, very good goal by Monroe. As Rangers go delirious, and here's this player who's been moved about. He's been a substitute, he's been a fullback, finds himself in again in the left-half position, and this superb pass here by Wilkins is best of the match so far. From a difficult angle, Monroe puts Rangers 1 up with 6 minutes to half time. And the whistles are blowing now. Maybe Mr. Wardle is taking his guidance from that East German referee. I don't know quite how long the stoppage time will be. Oh! It's an own goal, would you believe?
Not since Laurel and Hardy made fumbling an art form has it been such a delicate piece of farce. The Rangers manager wasn't laughing. In fact, he exchanged words with a linesman, which were far from pleasantries. But Souness did smile, though, when Chris Woods came back after a 4-month illness.
Oh, he's nowhere near that. Comes towards Martin. With that shot, McCoist, and Ferguson done it. Brilliantly taken. That's a touch again. And it's gone in. Chalmers, I think, put it in. Walter Smith doing a bit of bowling. Butcher is up, and there's the touch, a great goal by McCoist. Butcher gave the assist, and McCoist in like a flash. Swinging away, Goff is up, Davy Cooper. Great effort by Cooper. Walters has done it. 3-1.
Still in front, but feeling the pressure, and with Dundee United, Aberdeen and Celtic refusing to slacken, Rangers went into the marketplace again. Mel Sterling came to Ibrox for £750,000 to fill any possible gaps caused by Rangers' booking statistics, which made Terry Butcher especially vulnerable.
Long ball low through the legs that time of Holly Jameson. And Kevin Drinkle's cross to McCoist. There's Ian Ferguson, he makes it count. Rangers building up again. And spaces in the Hamilton defence. Kevin Drinkle in the middle. Blocked away, and here's Mel Sterling. Great way to start off your Ibrox career. The man they used to call Zico makes it 2-0. Walters going to the far post, and Richard Goff's there, he's done it. And that wraps it up for Rangers. 1 minute to go.
If anybody were to say that life is dull at Ibrox, it would be a bit like saying that Niagara is merely a bubbling brook. After all, if it wasn't happening on the field, which it largely was throughout the season, it was certainly happening off it.
At about this time of the year, Rangers very dramatically announced improvements that they would wish to make to refurbish Ibrox, which was already a very superb stadium. It was going to cost them £11 million. They also brought to the park a television executive, Alan Montgomery, who was to revamp the business structure. They want more facilities like these. This is the McPhail Suite, which is the executive area for the main sponsor. They're going to build new boxes and a new stand. That's all a sign of a club very confident of its future, even though just over the horizon then was a visit to a hoodoo ground, Celtic Park.
Bit of jockeying for position in there, and that's in! Drinkle! There's Ferguson with a shot. Oh, it's a brilliant one. And he's gone in. It's a second for Rangers. There's Brown. Yeah, too many Celtic players going at it. Joe Miller. Brilliant play by Miller. Now this looks better for Celtic. Morris. There's a great chance. He scored. Walker. Nice touch there, Joe Miller. Richard Gore. That's a kill for a penalty. The penalty's been given. It's been given for handling. So, Joe Miller against Chris Woods. Oh, he saved it. And it's passed.
Now, at the end of such a day, it is natural to feel you not only have won a football match against your oldest rivals, but conquered the galaxy to boot. You really would have been hard put to have had a logical conversation with these gentlemen of the terracings to persuade them that there were still 6 games to go. The supporters at a ground where winning has had a rarity quality were letting themselves go. Yet the nerves were stretched to the limit by Motherwell, who were almost the official party ruiners at Ibrox. Almost, but not quite. Ali McCoist caused relief to surge round the ground like a tidal wave.
Well, Ibrox may be a changed place from the old days when everybody virtually had to stand. But the atmosphere in the renovated and modernised stadium is absolutely marvellous, and indeed is the envy of the whole of Europe. But one thing the Rangers players wanted more than anything else, and that was to win the championship this season at home in front of their very loyal supporters. So when Hearts came here, they knew they were in for a hot time.
Walters is there. Wilkins and Sterling. And there it is, and it's in! Beautifully by Sterling. And off he goes. That little run of triumph for such a sweetly hit free kick. To each other. Look at this comedy of errors with Drinkle. Well, that's not a bad ball there. A great goal, Sterling. Oh, superbly taken by the big man. He is having a field day. Well, I think he wanted to climb up to the audience. Beautifully weighted cross there and flush from the forehead right into the rigging, as they would say. And the crowd love him, and he does in return. Looking for Walters, and he just gets him there. Price. Oh, brilliant goal, Drinkle! Oh, yes, superb goal. Well, the 3 goals from the 2 Englishmen, and how about that? Oh, here's Ferguson. To Cowan. There's a race forward, no offside. Drinkle. And he done it. His second. Rangers 4th. And you get the feeling that if Rangers really wanted, this could develop into a run. Certainly the Hearts defence tried to play them offside. They certainly were not. And Drinkle took his opportunity and remained admirably calm. Oh, okay, they look easy, don't they, from there, but you ask the striker about it. They're all difficult. Well, there's an almighty roar going off over Ibrox. The final whistle has gone at Pittodrie. It is nothing each, and the Rangers supporters realise that. I'm not sure if the Rangers players do, but the championship is Rangers, or technically speaking, they're 4 minutes away from it. Ibrox has erupted.
Souness's impassive countenance is a familiar landmark in Scottish football now, but underneath, ultimately, he felt like the others. Restraint at the final whistle is simply an impossibility. Rangers celebrated with that pleasantly weary look that comes over players when they know the hard work is well behind them. Their supporters are habitually very hard to please, but having been lifted out of the rut of mediocrity which the club had settled into prior to Souness, the celebrations simply underline the fact there can be no going back on the policy of massive investment. Their continuing success might intimidate others in Scottish football, that is certainly true. But inevitably, the major clubs must rise to their challenge as they form the core of a new prosperity for the game. Souness points to the factors which made his side so very special this season.
The determination of our players in pre-season, Archie. The look on their faces when we're putting hard work in pre-season. They had the hunger. And you can now, you know, you want to talk about individual games, but that for me, I knew in pre-season we had a real chance.
Do you see the league championship always in terms of passport to Europe?
No, league championship's the one that'll keep me in a job. If I won a cup every year, it wouldn't guarantee me a job the following season. I know if I win a championship, that'll keep me in the job.
But the club has dramatically changed. Is it on the right path as far as you're concerned?
We've won the championship. We're heading in the right direction. I am not entirely satisfied with my team, and I don't think I ever will be. So therefore, I'm still looking to go forward. I'm looking to make changes. We must always look to go forward, and that may be super critical, or may sound super critical by me. But after just winning the league today, I think we can improve our team in certain areas, and I've been given the responsibility, and it's my responsibility to give the supporters the best team, because they support the biggest club in Great Britain. There's no reason why we shouldn't be the best club in Great Britain, and maybe the best club outside of that.